Hello, everybody. All right, let's see here. Do we got this going? Yeah, it looks good. All right, I have the YouTube chat up. If you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to get to them. This is really exciting stuff. I mean, finally, BTC is doing a little bit of something, and this is definitely we're gonna have quite a bit to talk about in regards to. Let me just be sure we got this set up here. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about in regards to some higher time frame analysis and spot analysis that we talked about, and then our local range and some of the possibilities upcoming here with BTC. So I had talked about this. Let me pull this up here. We'll go to a weekly time frame. I mean, I literally, so I took this fractal, and this is a fractal from over here, and I posted this in February. So when price was trading right here, I posted this fractal, and I said, yeah, it's likely that we're going to put in some kind of a range here, top out between 70 and 76, and then drop down to about 52 after ranging for a while. And I mean, that's exactly what happened. Of course, you know, there was a couple different things that I personally like. What I didn't like about this is I did want this second sweep here. So I wanted one more sweep like this. I would have shorted the absolute life out of something like this if we got a sweep like that and then drop down. We didn't actually get that. And I think that it makes sense to me. It makes it all the more interesting because people like me, you know, saw these highs here and were looking for a sweep of those highs before going down, and we didn't get it, right? So it's not really all that surprising to me. I think it's a good play. So like people like me got sidelined on a major short. I did short here, but I mean, as I showed you guys, I closed it at like 64 because I thought we were going to get that one more sweep. So altogether, I think this looks great. I think this is pretty much exactly what I was looking for many months ago. And I think that this is a good sort of consolidation phase or like a good, we're kind of nearing that zone now where it's like, yeah, you probably want to spot buy here. And you can see I have that all marked out. And like what I posted in the Discord a long time ago is I said, just pulling it up right now. You know, ultimately what I said is that this is an area that you definitely want to be spot buying in. This is an area that I would not be spot buying in, and I would be looking for more swing shorts. Anything in between the two is sort of just, you know, it's an area to range in. It's a consolidation zone. It's the middle of the road, right? So we can see that price is pretty damn close to where I said like I would definitely be scooping up spot. I mean, anything under 50K, in my opinion, we should really consider this zone as a strong area of support. Whether or not we're going to get sort of that one more dip down or something like that, we can go ahead and take a look at. But there were a couple scenarios that I talked about in one of my last videos, which was that this 56K zone is going to be really interesting. 52 is really interesting. And which one of those we'll find support on is to be seen, right? Right now, we're sort of messing around in that 56K zone. I think that the true support's at about 52, but it's a pretty obvious one that I know a lot of people are eyeing, which is this weekly order block here. I think that a deviation of this level or a sweep of this level would be very on brand. I think it would be a very on brand thing to happen. And I do think that BTC will spend some time here. And I do want to make this clear. I still don't think that these highs are safe. I don't think that this is this is it. It's all done from here. I do believe that we'll put in some kind of a low in this zone, and BTC will, ultimately end up trading back up towards our highs. I don't think that we're just gonna, dump down to 40 or 30K and it's over from here. I don't feel that way at all. So, all right, cool. We'll go down to our lower time frames. We're going to do some updates on the chart and kind of go through some analysis here. Man, I wish I could I wish I could play some music. It'd be like really cool right now. To listen to nothing. Go ahead and get rid of all this. We'll update our levels. I had a bunch of longs. We hit like take profit 1 on all of my longs. We had super good, you know, I think we caught like a 7% move on Sol. We caught like a 26% move on Pendle and on Pepe, and a bunch of really killer longs that obviously are now all stopped out. Well, I'll have to go double check on those, but we hit a lot of really good positions. They didn't end up following through to the degree that I thought they would. But still, it's like you catch a 26% move. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, that was a terrible trade, because it wasn't. All right. All right, so we just closed a quarterly candle too. All right, let's go ahead and start doing some shit. Man, I would kill for some music right now. Problem is I can't put any music on, because it has to be royalty-free music, and I don't want to do any digging to do that. All right, so this is going to be previous quarter low. Previous quarter high. And we're going to have the queue open. And these are going to be our previous quarter levels. Let's update our previous month, which I already did. All right, let's look at our previous week. Previous week low. Weekly open. Previous week high. Monday range is forming. It's very possible that it's formed at this point. Seems like a pretty decent Monday range to me. If it is already in, of course we have to wait until the daily close to confirm that. Let's look at our key trend lines. We're confronting some of those. Yeah, so this is an interesting channel we're going to take a look at. You can see it's the bottom of it's holding a support. This is a really old channel. We have this larger one. We'll take a look at some of those momentarily. Our key upper zones. I really need that. Range low. So what the fuck was this? Ooh, what was this? This was this a, let's just take a look. I'm gonna just drew this based on what I looked at. Well, yeah, it could be the value area. Well, either way, it's being really well respected. Yeah, I might have just drawn it out as a key area here. We can see that it's, I mean, bounced nearly from the dollar on that. It's pretty huge. Our monthly levels. I don't think I need this one. This is a fresh monthly. This is no longer a fresh monthly. Do you think we'll drop to 44? I don't know about alts. I'll have to take a look at some alts. I'm not really sure yet. Do I think we'll drop to 44? I don't know. Let's take a look though. You know, honestly, like, to answer, if I were just to straight up answer your question, I don't really think there's any reason for us to think we're gonna drop to 44 right now. I mean, could it? Yeah, but I mean, price is sitting at 56 after some pretty aggressive selling, and we haven't even gotten to like this area of support yet. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's look at what we got so far, and then we'll talk about it. I don't think there's any reason to be like, you know, yeah, we're gonna drop down to 44. I mean, it's a pretty obvious area of support, right? Look at this here, this zone. I like this OB. This is the OB I talked about in February, where I said that this zone would be support. I talked about last week why price could front run that support at 56, which is currently what it's doing. So we'll see. We will see. To be fair, holy shit, is that what that is? Oh no, it's not. Yeah, I know what I think. I know what I think right now. By looking at this, I can tell you exactly what I'm thinking. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do I think? Do I think this will hold support? No. No, I do not. Well, I think I know. I think I know what we're gonna do. Or I know my assessment, I should say. When is this? This is August. Holy shit. Oh man, I knew it. We're in for a long summer. This is exactly what I said months ago. Just remember looking at this like, man, we're in for a long summer. It's gonna be very boring. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Hmm. 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 Yeah, I could see something like this, or coming up to here to take out this high. Before then getting a move down. Just depends on how bearish everything is. How long all this could take is really the big question. Hmm. Hmm. What would this be? Couldn't be a Gartley. This would have to be a bat. Which if it is a bat, then we would get a move down this low. And it would happen by mid-August. Makes the most sense. Wonder if it's possible to draw one. 786. I don't like that. Hmm. Hmm. Yo. There we go. What is that? 67. 67 on the month. Look back. 67. 74, of course. That will be taken. 58, 60. Yeah, 67. Hmm. Hmm. Be the midline. Although Yeah, one of these two. Down to lower time frames. I mean, if it's gonna do it, probably just do it now, huh? All right, so what's going through my mind right now is a couple different things. Just to kind of, I guess, explain or elaborate on on what I'm thinking about here. So locally, BTC's in this downtrend here, and I think that this is a pretty aggressive downturn from this trend, this local trend line here. So typically, what you would expect is price is gonna do some shit here until it confronts this line, and it'll either go down or we're going to break up, right? Being that this would be the third touch, it would make sense to me for it to go down. So basically something like this, where it, at some point it confronts this line here and we see a downturn, to which then it consolidates below it and eventually breaks up, right? This would be sort of typically what you would expect out of this, is something like this to happen. So that would mean that we're going to get this zone first, which I would consider this to be a long zone, right? The flip side of that is we do have a decent amount of liquidity up here at this upwards downwards trend line, right? This upper downward trend line. So what we could look for then would be sort of a break or a deviation of this zone, and then coming down later on and sort of back testing it. We saw something like this happen on Pepe. So here, let me just get rid of this stuff here. And if you take a look at some of these channels, they sort of paint a picture, right? So we have this downward channel, right? We have this downward channel, and if we were to expect, we had one rotation, top to bottom, second rotation, top to bottom, a third rotation would look something like this, right? And a third rotation would give us sort of that 67 zone, which is a really nice area of liquidity right now. And then it would also give us this sort of 48 zone that we'd be looking for on a deviation of this weekly order block. My thing is, okay, like what I'm looking at is, would we first do this, come down to this, and then get that move up to 67? Right? Or would we go from here and then come down? All right, so those are the two things that I'm sort of running through right now. What would make the most amount of sense? And I think the answer is that I actually don't have to know or care which one comes first. I just have to watch the zones. So if we go down here, I'm going to long. If we go up here first in this zone or this zone first, then I'm going to short. So ultimately, that's, that is kind of what I'm looking at. This is my long zone. This is my short zone. Whichever one comes first, we'll have to look at the context of that and sort of see how that's going to play out. But really, for me, this is, these are the two kind of zones that I'm looking for. And this would sort of be the path that I would be looking for it to take, would be if we're going to rotate like this, or if we're going to push down again one more time. And I'm thinking you know, I think it would make more sense to get this push down right here and then go and get the pump up to here. I think it would be a strange move for it to just go straight up to here from here. I think that this makes more sense to get this move down. This is a monthly fair value gap, by the way. So price is trading inside the gap. I think it's going to be filled. We have this really nice weekly order block here at about 52, as well as a weekly level there. I think price comes down, deviates that level, reclaim, come back inside the channel, rotates to the top at about 67. And this will pretty much be the rest of our summer. Okay? So in my eyes, this is basically going to be the rest of our summer is essentially, if I were to draw this out, I think it would be something like, something like this. And you would try to time it. Try to time this. So it would be, maybe it wouldn't take that long per se. I don't know. What does that put us to? So mid-July, end of July. Yeah, it's really tough to say. I think that the best thing, again, that we could do is just understand that like this is a zone to buy, and somewhere between here and here is a zone to sell. And that's just how I'm gonna look at it. So I'm gonna clean this up just a pinch here and get you guys kind of a I don't care which one of these three trades comes first. But I would, any one of these three areas, I'd be interested in a position. Obviously, we want to see the reaction when and if price gets there. To me right now, the more I look at this, I think it makes sense to go to 49 first. And that would be my assessment. Something like this. Either something like this, right? Where we would look to long here. Or something like this, where we'd look to short either one of these zones. Right? So either one of these zones to short if we get that first, or down here to long if we get this short, or get that first. And then again, this zone in here would be for shorting. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. Again, I'm mentally preparing myself for a very long and boring summer when it comes to BTC. But these are kind of the positionings and the trades that I would be looking for, especially in these zones here. I think that makes the most amount of sense. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to share like a very brief kind of update in the group for you guys, recapping this information, and I'll share a chart in there with you. But again, these are my two zones. So basically going back to these, I don't care which one comes first. I know I have these in an order, but either A, we get this and I'm going to look for a short, or B, we get down here first and I'm going to look for a long. It doesn't matter to me which one comes first. I'm leaning towards this long coming first and then us getting the short, but there is a decent pocket of liquidity up here and we could totally see like some, sweep above this high here. It's really, it's tough to say. but I think that we're locked in for a long summer. I don't think that like I don't think you have to feel pressured into rushing into buys or doing anything crazy, because price is probably going to be spending a lot of time, you know, ranging and just doing a whole lot of really boring price action. It's not, I don't think that like all of a sudden, you know, we're going to go from here and it's just going to rip to all-time highs and you're sidelined and you're going to regret not buying here and like you're going to feel like you missed your opportunity. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think that you should really be prepared mentally to lock into a ranging summer where we could definitely see something like this and then come back here and then maybe a move up, you know, in Q4, right, to end the year, right? This something like this wouldn't surprise me at all. This is absolutely 100% something I could see happening. So just mentally prepare yourselves for that. Don't, and it's a good thing, right? You can kind of mentally give yourselves a break from feeling like you're going to miss out on every opportunity. See the market for what it is, do your research, be patient in taking your buys and things like that. But if you are a spot buyer and a spot holder, I would say that the next couple months, the next month to, you know, 4 to 8 weeks are definitely going to be your bread and butter, where you're going to be looking to like buy some of these zones here, because everything is pretty damn severely discounted at this point. So we're going to go ahead and call it there on this analysis. I will share more analysis on alts this week at our usual 1 trade in 1 minute on Tuesday through Friday. I will get those short clips out covering all of our alts and some of the ones that we've been watching pretty heavily over the last 8 weeks. So if you had any questions I didn't get a chance to get to them, feel free to ask in the Discord. This video will be online. Otherwise, just stay tuned. I'm going to do a short recap with some charts. Thanks again, guys, for watching. We'll see you in the group.